The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. The following program contains mature content. Any opinions expressed are those solely of the host and any guests. Listener discretion strongly advised.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Weiss Thoughts. Each episode of Weiss Thoughts is a virtual campfire sit-down where I tell you what's on my mind. Make sure you stop by the website, purplepitstudios.com, and look for Weiss Thoughts under the list of shows. There you can listen to each and every episode of this podcast. And if you want to email us, it's weissthoughts@purplepitstudios.com. Once again, Weiss Thoughts. Just make sure you spell my name right, W-Y-C-E, weissthoughts@purplepitstudios.com. We got a great show for you, a very controversial show coming up for you on this edition of Weiss Thoughts. Are Joe Biden and the radical left Democrat Liberal Party becoming the new Nazis for the 21st century? I'm going to give you my opinions on this episode of Weiss Thoughts. And it all starts right after this. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss this show. Hey, thanks for tuning in to the show. If you want to contact me, you can tweet at me on Twitter @TerryWeiss. You can also follow me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Weiss Thoughts. And if you want to check out my YouTube channel, just search for Weiss Thoughts on YouTube. Now, let's get back to the show. Yes. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and welcome to Weiss Thoughts. And as promised, it's going to be a good one today. It's going to be a barn burner for us. And everybody's favorite communist, or should I say everybody's Alzheimer's induced communist. I don't know if he has that or not. I hope not. But he had a wonderful speech to the American people here just a few short days ago, standing with the backdrop in Philadelphia, PA, with the red behind him and the guards on each side of him. And if any of you watched our beloved President Joe Biden's speech, basically, anyway, if you watched the president's speech, you know exactly what I'm talking about. By the way, welcome to the program. Welcome to Weiss Thoughts. I am Terry Weiss, and I'm so glad you're here and decided to spend some of your valuable time with me today. This is not for the faint of heart. If you like the current president, you may be offended by some of the opinions I'm about to give on this program, but we give you the disclaimer in the beginning, and so be it. We're all adults here. We're all entitled to our own opinions, and I have very strong feelings on this current administration. I do not think it's good for the country. I do not think it's good for the world. I think the man is compromised not only politically, but I also think with his health he's compromised, the poor soul, and it's a shame. It is a shame. However, I don't feel he should have ever been elected or put forward by his party, because I believe he is medically compromised and intellectually compromised as well. Folks, my humble opinion, what I've come to garner from all that has been going on here in the past couple of years since Joe Biden got elected president of the United States of America is that he is not running the show. I mean, it's been proven time and time again. You know, all my people said I can't do this and that, and the notes that have come out. You know, go into the room, you sit here, you turn left, you face right, you say hello to everyone, you sit in your chair. I mean, these are things you would write for a child, not for the leader of the free world, and that's one of the things that really scares me. The fact that he cannot produce a sentence, his own cognizant thoughts 90% of the time, or at least that's what we've seen. The way the media is covering up for him. Now, I want you to think about some things here. And again, the icing on the cake, just when I think that these people can't get any more ridiculous, these radical lefties that are running our country, and what a shithole they're trying to turn it into. And that's just that's my opinion. If you don't like me, turn it off. That's just how I feel. But you know what? In speaking with a lot of you, and the messages I'm getting, by the way, at weissthoughts@purplepitstudios.com, our email address, the majority of you, the feedback has been, you're worried as well, and you don't care for this president or administration or the way the country is being run. Let's face some facts, folks. We have record high inflation. We have people out there taking out loans to buy groceries, to pay their bills. I'm not talking about taking out loans to buy another car. I'm not talking about taking out loans to go on a vacation. I'm talking about people taking out loans to buy the basics, food, provide a roof over their head, pay utilities. This should never happen in America. Never. And the lies that continue to come out of this White House, the absolute, unadulterated, complete falsehoods that come out of this White House. The latest one from the bumbling buffoon saying he never knew anything about the raid on former President Trump's home. Well, the special master and the documents that are being released proves he's lying again. Folks, we have a Chinese compromised crime family in the White House. There's no disputing that. There are facts. It's all over the place. The Hunter Biden laptop, they have facts on it. Our institutions, the Department of Justice, the FBI, have been weaponized against anyone who doesn't toe the line, doesn't march in line, Sieg Heil! And that's hence the title of the show today. Are Joe Biden and the radical left Democrats the new Nazi party for the 21st century? Now, I know that's a strong statement. And that's going to oh, how can you say that, Terry? Think about what they've been doing and edging towards. And now, because they have political power, are just going balls to the wall down the highway. Censorship. The Nazis censored people. Using government agencies to ferret out and silence your political opponents and anyone with a different political opinion. The Nazis did that. Okay, checkbox number 2. Infiltrating state and having state-run media continue your narrative and hide your evils and misdoings and errors. Checkbox number 3, the Nazis did that. And so do communists, but the Nazis did this. Dictating to you what you can think, what is acceptable, what it means to love your country and be a patriot. The Nazis did that. Checkbox number 4. I mean, the list can go on and on, ladies and gentlemen. You know, after watching that speech, this is kind of how I saw the speech when he was rambling. Yeah, that's what I thought of when this dingaling was giving a speech. Okay? The hand gestures, the outright anger. I mean, this president ostracized and alienated and insulted and called basically almost half of this country okay? Over 70 to 80 million plus people that we know of that support the Make America Great Again movement, basically villainized them, demonized them, and outright, called for them to be ostracized. Folks, this is not conjecture. This is not speculation. The man has come out and said it. And he doubled down just a few days after that speech, calling people Trumpies and they're not Americans and they're trying to undermine democracy. Folks, if anyone is trying to undermine the democracy, which we're actually a representative republic with democratic elections, that's the true origin of the United States of America and how our government's run, if you do a little bit of research on that. However, he doubled down. He did this shitty speech from Philadelphia, which was very Hitler-esque. I'm sorry. That was he had the military behind him, the red, glow in the background, dark, with a little red glow. I mean, if that wasn't a Hitler-esque type speech, and these are the same people, ladies and gentlemen, these are the same people that call people like myself and others that love America, that want freedom, that want peace, that want betterment of all peoples, want legal immigration, don't want our open borders to be porous and people just stream in. These are the same people that villainize us and ostracize us and call us Nazis. No, they're doing exactly what they're claiming, falsely, I might add, that people that support the Make America Great Again movement do. They're doing it. The radical left. Those are the real Nazis. Those are the real communists. Those are the real socialists. Those are the real threat to the democracy and freedom of the United States of America, in my opinion. These people are the threat. Now, that being said, they need to be defeated by going to the polls and voting. They need to be defeated by getting involved in your local communities. They need to be defeated by standing up to them and pushing back against their lies and their false narratives and getting information out there. I find it so unbelievably ironic that the radical left says, the right and the MAGA people, they're all about violence and they're hatred and racist and homophobic and blah, blah. You might have some shitheads in there, but you know what? The hatred, the intolerance is far, far, far more prevalent on the radical left side politically in this country. I can't speak for other countries because I don't live there. But the one I live in, the one I love, the one I see systematically trying to be dismantled from the inside out and destroyed comes from the radical left in this country. Folks, let me just give you some food for thought here. Being a liberal 20 years plus ago used to mean you were against big government. You were against the government telling you what to do. You wanted freedom. You wanted to live your life. You wanted less government interference and oversight. Okay? You wanted more freedom, less regulation. You wanted people to be able to make their own choices. You wanted no censorship. You want to be able to have people speak freely, offer ideas, even opinions that you didn't like. That's what being a liberal was 20 plus years ago in this country. Now, the script has flipped, my friends. These radical liberals, they want censorship. They want big government controlling you from the time you come out of your mother's vagina till the time they're shoveling you in the ground. They want government involved in all facets of your life, taking care of you. Anyone that disagrees with them, they want no political difference of opinion or discourse whatsoever. You will toe the fucking line or we will make your life a living hell and try and cancel you with this woke bullshit cancel culture stuff. And those of you that call yourself liberals that have changed and are following this cult, because that's what I think it is. It's a cult. It's an evil cult, in my humble opinion. You need to do some serious soul searching, do some praying, do some, whoever you pray to. You really need to look in the mirror and do some serious soul searching and say, am I really a liberal? Or am I a communist Nazi? because that's sure as hell what you're acting like. Think about it. Look it up, folks. This is in the history books. You know, the other thing, the radical lefties, they want to erase history. Why do they want to erase history so much? Why? So people can't go there and look it up and say, wow, look at these mistakes that were made. Let's be careful and not do those again. So they can go ahead and they're heading down the same damn straight road. They're heading down the same damn straight road. And it's crazy. We're going to take a quick break, and after this, we're going to continue on with our Joe Biden and the radical left liberals in the United States of America, the new Nazi party for the 21st century. We're going to continue on right after this. Hey, like what you hear? Do us a favor. Leave us a rating on your favorite podcast provider. And don't forget to check out the website. Go to purplepitstudios.com and look for Weiss Thoughts. Now, let's get back to the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the program. Welcome to Weiss Thoughts. I'm Terry Weiss. So we're talking about Joe Biden and the radical left in this country, and are they the new Nazis for the 21st century? If you've been listening all along, you know I've got some very strong feelings on this current administration and just how terrible that I think they are for America. And folks, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. You know, and the media, the big mainstream media, they are right in on it with them. And if you don't think so, I mean, just look back to 2020, all right, with the COVID, how the media went along, how people were silenced, how people, were ostracized for not getting a shot if they didn't want one. Look at how much of your freedom went away under this president, this current administration. Look how your rights were trampled over and on in just a nanosecond, man, in a heartbeat, okay? Your rights were destroyed. And, you had no say in it, okay? Over nothing. It's just, and there are some, I mean, look at any democratically run city in this nation. All right. Let's look at that. Let's move on to that. What, pick one. Los Angeles, Detroit, New York City. They're war zones. The crime is through the roof. They look like third world shithole countries. And I said it, third world shithole countries. Okay. And they're economically destroyed. And these cities get millions, hundreds of millions of dollars every year. People are fleeing them like it's the apocalypse. The only ones left are the unfortunate souls that can't move out, mostly. This is all brought to you by your Democratic Liberal Party, folks. The evidence is, and the weird thing about this is that people are just so indoctrinated into the radical left cult. Those of you that are out there with your Trump derangement syndrome and everything else, you don't look at the facts right in front of your face. I have every excuse in the book. It's like having that kid, that child that you know is going to be a fucking serial killer because they start hurting their siblings when they're young, start hurting animals, start killing animals, start, exhibiting behavior that is way out of left field. And you just make excuses for them. And then they grow up to be a serial killer or murder somebody maybe in your family or whatever. And we don't know why. All the signs were there. Ladies and gentlemen, all the signs are there for the United States of America. All the signs are in front of our eyes and have been for the past 15 to 20 years. And we keep ignoring them and we keep slipping further and further and further into our own destruction. I'm worried that my children and my grandchildren are not going to have a United States of America to prosper and have a chance to prosper in. Now, do we have problems in this country? Sure. Everybody does. I liken it to a family. There's no perfect family. Everybody's got that weird uncle, that weird aunt, that sibling that's a little off kilter that you try and help out. But at the end of the day, you're a family and you pull together and you do what's best. You don't just keep sliding into oblivion. And the way that this president ostracized the people who believe in MAGA, Make America Great Again, why is it so wrong? I want to ask you this. Why is it so wrong to want to make America great again? Now, I know some of you are jumping up and down. Well, Terry, they're racist. Look at the stuff they do. They wave Confederate flags. That doesn't make you a racist because you wave a flag. Look at Black Lives Matter. Everybody was, beating the drum for how wonderful they were. The pride flag. Just because you wave a flag doesn't mean you're an evil person. It's what you do or that organization does or that movement does that would make you bad. Well, there's just a bunch of rednecks and Make America Great Again. So what? They're Americans. Don't they have a right to an opinion? Just like the people on the East and West Coast and the North and South? We all have a right to our opinion. It shouldn't be censored. See, the fundamental difference, there's nothing wrong with what's wrong with wanting to bring back jobs to this country like the former president did. What's wrong with putting America first in negotiations with countries overseas and looking out for our best interest? Every other country in the world, I would think, does this. What's so wrong about that? Why is that evil? Would you go to buy a car and say, you know what? I don't want to save any money. I'll pay full price. In fact, add on a few $1,000s. Give me the warranty. I'm not going to negotiate any price because you're the dealership and you know best. I don't know anybody who does that. Even people that are multi-millionaires and billionaires negotiate prices on things, especially like automobiles, land, business dealings. They try to get what's best for them. What's wrong with the United States trying to get what's best for us? And we can and have shown that we can do it without marginalizing people. It can be done. I have never heard a president speak with such vile hatred and divisiveness as President Joe Biden when he spoke from Philadelphia, and again just a few short days later. And I believe it was Pennsylvania. I'm not exactly sure the second location. Can you imagine? Let me pose this to you out there, you radical lefties. What if President Trump gave a speech like that from Philadelphia with that same kind of backdrop, okay? And he was chastising the radical left movement, calling them terrible for democracy. They're going to destroy everything, and use the same kind of language and hand gestures and vile hatred in the tone of voice. It would have been all over the news. It would have been, Trump and Hitler, Trump and Hitler, Trump and Hitler comparisons all over the place. Twitter would have exploded and had a meltdown. CNN, they would have been having strokes on CNN and falling off, and MSLSD, all those, bought and paid for state-run media outlets. They probably, people at the New York Times would probably be throwing themselves under their desk, and cowering. Think about it. What the radical left says and accuses people that are in the MAGA movement or even in the, progressive movement or the right ring of our nation, allergy season. What the radical left accuses the other side of doing, they do pretty much verbatim, folks. They do it on a daily basis. Here, give me a perfect example. This dimwit, Congresswoman AOC, worries about marrying a white man and fears Trump supporters could kill her. She is such a dumb shit. She is a dimwit. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. What a dimwit. What a dimwit. She's feeling shunned by her own party and said she worries about marrying a white man. First of all, Toots, I don't think anybody would want to marry you because I think you're mentally unhinged. I think you need to seek some mental health counseling right away. The Democrat Socialist Squad God member is featured on the cover of GQ magazine? Yeah, GQ magazine, in a navy blue suit and a black turtleneck and a bold red lipstick. The cover advertises discussions on masculinity, power, and politics in the post-Roe America, while the photo spread inside shows the congresswoman posing on the Capitol steps in a black dress. I hold two contradictory things at the same time, Ocasio-Cortez told GQ. One is just the relentless belief that anything is possible, but at the same time, my experience have given me a front row seat to how deeply and unconsciously, as well as consciously, so many people in this country hate women and hate women of color. Bullshit! You know, me and the missus were talking about this the other day. I saw a news story, okay? I saw a news story that in Iran, all right, in Iran, they're getting ready to execute LGBTQ activists. They're getting ready to, I believe it's beheading is how they execute them. They're getting ready to execute a bunch of them. I think it was 10 or more. They're getting ready to kill them. And I told my wife, I said, you know, just about for example, the LGBTQ community in this country cries and whines that they're ostracized and they're discriminated against. Folks, the United States of America is the beacon to the world. We have the most freedom, in my humble opinion. We have the most freedom of any country on this planet, okay? For people of color, for BTQ people. Sorry, it's hard to remember all those initials. My apologies. I have friends that are gay. I have friends that are lesbians. I have friends that are straight. I have friends that are black. You know, I have friends that are white. I have friends that are of all nationalities. Nobody's hunting them down. Nobody's saying you can't have a job. You can't get together and cohabitate. You can't. In fact, they're not even saying you can't even get married. Nobody is doing this. This is all the cult left, new neo-Nazi party in this country that has taken over in the past 15 years and infested media, infested colleges, and now it's infected government. And this is the radical, crazy bullshit that the rest of America that has common sense and that are not indoctrinated into this neo-Nazi liberal cult, and that's what I'm calling them, a neo-Nazi liberal cult. And if that offends you, oh well, sounds like a you problem. Because that's what you are, in my humble opinion, folks. If you subscribe to this craziness. I have never in my life, and if you have, please email me at weissthoughts@purplepitstudios.com. You can tweet at me on Twitter at Terry Weiss. You can put it up on our Facebook page, facebook.com/weissthoughts. If you have ever witnessed someone from the LGBTQ community, I apologize again, putting all those in words, the gay and homosexual community, and trans community, everybody. If you have ever experienced anyone outright in public saying, nope, you can't have that job because you're gay. Oh, you're a tranny? Can't have that job. Sorry. You got cock and balls and you're dressing like a woman? Sorry, we're not going to hire you. I have never witnessed anything like that. I have never witnessed anybody ostracizing them, shouting, obscenities at them. I have, at years, in the past 10 years, I can't think of one example. Oh, you're black? Sorry, no blackies allowed in here. We can't hire you. Oh, you're black? You can't eat at this restaurant. Go down there for the cuddle folk. I have never witnessed anything like that in my lifetime, in the past 10 years, at least, or more. Not one instance. Now, with regards to black people, I have watched black people call other black people the famous N-word that you can't say. I've watched them call it to them in stores in hatred to each other, not, in their affectionate way where you drop the R and you elongate the ah. I've witnessed more black people use it against black people than I've ever seen white people use it against black people. Ever. I haven't seen anyone, make fun of Chinese people or Mexican people or, Middle Eastern people Indian people. I have not I have never gone out to a restaurant and, been sitting there and a Chinese or Oriental person walks by, a Chinese or Korean person or whatever walks by and somebody starts making, I've never witnessed it. So I'm not sure where all this racism is that they're seeing. Now, are there some racist assholes out there that discriminate? Sure. And it comes in all shapes and sizes, all creeds, all sexual orientations, and all nationalities. Do it. All. There is not one subset of human culture that doesn't have assholes in them. Trust me, I know that. And if you think hard about it, my friends, and if you use some common sense, you will know that makes sense as well. But I'm telling you, as sure as I'm sitting here, that Joe Biden and the radical left neo-Nazi party in this country, I think they are the new Nazis for the 21st century. I sincerely believe it. I do. But we shall see what we shall see. Hey, if you got any comments, questions, or suggestions on today's show, by all means, email me at weissthoughts@purplepitstudios.com. Make sure you visit the website, purplepitstudios.com, to check out all the shows offered there and check out Weiss Thoughts. And remember, to be the change in the world, you have to be the change in the world. It all starts with you, the person looking back at you in the mirror. Be good to yourself, be good to others. Until we meet up again at the virtual campfire, Terry Weiss. Peace out.